In this video, we will learn everything, literally everything there is about GoHighLevel email setup and how to send emails from GoHighLevel. So by the end of this video, you might have millions of other issues, but sending emails from GoHighLevel is not going to be one of them. So let's talk about the highlights of this video. First, we will learn how GoHighLevel sends emails, whether it's manual, whether it's automatic, whether it's bulk, whether it's a newsletter. How does GoHighLevel actually send emails? Then we will learn a very important step, which is email domain setup, more specifically an email subdomain setup. Then we will see how GoHighLevel sends emails manually, how you can send emails to someone, how we can automatically send emails through GoHighLevel workflows. Then we will see how to send bulk emails, an email to a bunch of people or multiple emails to a bunch of people. Finally, we will learn about the email builder, how GoHighLevel has this email builder through which you can build beautiful emails like marketing emails, emails sharing login access, or different use cases. Then let's talk about how GoHighLevel sends emails. So if you look at my screen over here, GoHighLevel doesn't send emails from its own servers. So basically, GoHighLevel doesn't have actual mail server. If you were using Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo, they actually have their own server. GoHighLevel, it relies on integrations with third-party email service providers. In our case, we'll be using Mailgun. Their current email sending service is called LC Email Service, which is basically a wrapped-up version of Mailgun. You don't have to actually sign up for Mailgun to configure it now, because LC Email Service does that integration internally. All you need to do is just select LC Email Service as the email service provider once you sign up for GoHighLevel, and they'll do the rest. But we will still need to set up our email domains and stuff. So you need to configure your domain with the service after obviously you choose the LC email service to be able to send emails without landing on spam, which is very important. You don't want to land in spam. Why email domain? We set up email domains for three big reasons. The first one is our emails will look legit, because if we send an email to someone and they receive the email, on top of the email it says this email may be a spam. So it doesn't really look good, does it? Secondly, emails won't land in spam or junk folder. So if you send someone an email and if it lands on spam or junk folder, they won't be seeing it because people don't usually check the spam or junk folder. Thirdly, emails sent from your domain will look professional. So instead of sending something from hasib@gmail.com, I'll be sending something from hasib at myawesomeagency.com if my website is myawesomeagency.com. That's why we set up email domains with GoHighLevel, especially because we will be using it for sales and marketing. We need to look as professional as we can. Now let's talk about email subdomain. So email subdomain is something that we need to set up in the backend of GoHighLevel in the settings. We always end up in whoever we are sending this email to, their inbox. So if your website, let's say awesomeagency.com, this is just an example. Your website could be premieragency.com, like whatever your website is. If this is your website, we will use something like lc.awesomeagency.com. So basically, we are not using the main domain. We are just using a subdomain. We are setting up a subdomain to send emails from GoHighLevel. And GoHighLevel uses alias technology to send emails. So even though we are using lc.awesomeagency.com, it will look as if the emails are going out from the main domain. Even though we are using lc.awesomeagency.com, just an example, the emails will actually look as if it went from awesomeagency.com. So that's basically the alias technology that GoHighLevel uses. Once we set up a subdomain, let's say we set up lc.awesomeagency.com and we authenticate it with GoHighLevel, what will happen is we can send emails not to, but from anything at awesomeagency.com. So we set up lc.awesomeagency.com, info@awesomeagency.com, contact@awesomeagency.com, john@awesomeagency.com, basically anything at awesomeagency.com. And that's basically the alias technology that changes the subdomain to main domain, and then you can use anything at awesomeagency.com. So that's the beauty of it. Okay, we are on our GoHighLevel account. As you can see, I'm logged in under app.myleadbuster.com, which is my white label domain. But if you want, you can log in under app.gohighlevel.com as well. It doesn't really make a difference in terms of setting up email domains, what you're logged in under. If we are on the agency level, we can set up an email sending domain on an agency level as well. And as you can see, it says click here to switch. I haven't switched to any sub account. Basically, agency account is what holds all these sub accounts. And sub accounts are basically where the business's sales and marketing processes are set up. If we have a business, we will set up a sub-account for that business and set up all the funnels, calendars, forms, surveys, websites, funnels, everything on that sub-account. So one sub-account is for one business, and that's how it works. You can set up multiple sub-accounts under the agency level. Regarding email sending subdomain, you can set up a subdomain on both agency level and sub-account level. Now, what happens when you set it up on agency level? Let's say this is the agency account. We will go to settings and we will go to email services. As you can see, I already have a email sending subdomain set up here. Unless I have email subdomain set up on sub-accounts, or until I have set up on sub-accounts, all the sub-accounts will be using this email subdomain. And that causes an issue because let's say I'm an agency owner. I have a GoHighLevel account and I'm selling sub-accounts to other businesses. When I onboard a new business, basically when I create a new sub-account for them and I don't have their email sending subdomain set up, they will be using this. Now, what if they start sending thousands of emails? Because there are limits. You can't really just send hundreds and thousands of emails every day. When they start doing that, your email will be affected and you'll end up getting blacklisted. In order to avoid this, whenever you onboard a new business or a new client on your GoHighLevel, when you create a sub-account for them, you must have them set up their own email sending subdomain, or you must set it up for them. Never let them use your agency level subdomain. I don't think you have to set up any subdomain on an agency level. So I will show you how to set up email sending subdomains on sub-account level. In order to do that, we will click here to switch, and then we will just type for the business sub-account we are setting it up for. So I'll just type company. Let's say company X is the sub-account. So I'll go to this sub-account. So once we are switched to the sub-account, we will come here under settings and we will say email services on the left. So for a brand new account, this is what you will see. It will show a pop-up saying create a dedicated domain. So we will just click on it. And here we need to enter our domain name. So they're suggesting lc.mydomain.com, my domain being your own domain, right? Let's say I have a domain called hasibasad.com. Now, as we talked earlier, we are not going to use literally this main domain here. So if we do this like this, it will cause an issue because there is a chance of the main domain being blocked or blacklisted. So what we want to do is we want to send it from lc.hasibasad.com, which is a subdomain. In this case, is using alias technology to send emails, as it went from hasibasad.com. So we don't have an issue with that. Now, how do we set it up? So if we click on add and verify, they will show us steps to do this. Now, if you have a domain, you purchased this domain from somewhere. Maybe you purchased this from Namecheap. Maybe you did it from GoDaddy. Maybe you did it from Hostinger, anywhere. So wherever you purchased it from, there are tons of other local providers as well. Or if you have a live website, you need to log in under the DNS zone of that domain or the website. If I purchased it from GoDaddy, for example, I would just go to Google and say GoDaddy DNS zone editor. And it will show me an article, and this goes for any of the hosting providers or domain providers. They will show you an article of how to actually navigate to that DNS zone editor. So in my case, I'm using a company called HawkHost. So this is my DNS zone editor. I've navigated to my DNS zone editor, and this is the DNS zone editor for hasibasad.com. And I will be creating a subdomain under this DNS zone editor. Let me show you how that works. Just to confirm, if you want to navigate to your DNS zone for your domain or your website, you need to just Google it or just contact your hosting provider. They will have the best answer for you in this case. Now, once we set up add and verify or click on add and verify, it will show us a pop-up like this, which we will click add record manually because we are going to manually enter these in the DNS zone. So let's talk about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have total 5 records that we need to update. And there are different types of records. First one is TXT, second one is TXT, third one CNAME, and the last two being MX. So these are different types of DNS records. And setting these up means we are authenticating GoHighLevel to our domain. We'll just click on this, copy this. This is the host and this is the value we need to update. If you come over here, we'll just click on add record. The first part is the host, right? So we will enter the host here, and here we will select TXT, copy the value and enter it here. So we won't update it here yet. We will say add a new record, get the second one, and we will say TXT. The second one is TXT as well, and we will update it here. Now for the third one, we will copy, and it's a different record, which is a CNAME. So we will just select CNAME and enter it here, get the value. That's it. The fourth one will be an MX record. So just click on host and change this to MX, paste it and copy the value and put it under destination. There's an additional field, which is priority. So if GoHighLevel doesn't give you any priority to update, all you need to do is just update it to 10 and then add record again. Here we will just do the fifth one, which is another MX record, which will be LC, and put it like this here. The priority will be still 10. So once we're done setting up 5 different records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will just hit save all records, and it can be different for your hosting provider or domain provider. It's pretty similar in terms of setting it up. The layout or the UI may be different. Once that's done, we will wait for a few minutes, and it may take up to half an hour to update here because it's a domain thing and it needs to propagate worldwide. So once it's done propagating, we will just come over here and hit verify records. Now, as you can see, we set up 5 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's an additional one they're giving us now, which is a D mark. So we will just copy this and take it there and hit add record. This will also be a TXT. Get the value and set it up like this. Save record. So this is the 6th one. Now, once that's done, we will just hit verify. Again, like I said, it may take a few minutes to a half an hour for this to propagate worldwide and then for it to be authenticated successfully. So let's just wait until it gets verified for all these records. Okay, so once it's verified, it will take you to this page which says warm up in progress, shared IP, and it will still say SSL pending. So we will just refresh it a couple of times to see if the SSL is verified. If you've done exactly like how I have done it, the SSL will also be verified in no time. Now let's talk about something very important. As you can see, once we set up a dedicated email domain, it says domain warm up. So if you read this message, we use a fixed stage warm up model with predefined daily and hourly limits. Once you set up a new email subdomain for a sub account, you're doing it in order to send emails from this sub account for this business. What you can do is you are limited to sending 1,000 emails every day at the very beginning. I mean, 1,000 is a lot unless you're doing super heavy database reactivation stuff. To build a strong sender reputation, aim to reach your daily limit consistently. This helps ensure better inbox placement over time. So what will happen is if you keep sending close to 1,000 emails every day, your reputation will increase every day, and then they will increase your limit, and it goes up to like 250,000 a day. I've seen many sub accounts having that kind of limit because they were very consistent with sending this much emails, like hitting that limit that they were given every day. So this is basically the warm-up stage. Whatever you're doing, how many emails you're sending every day, do not send more than this, because if you do that, they will try to blacklist you as soon as possible. So you don't want to do that. If you get blacklisted, then you have to go through this warm-up phase all over again, which is a pain. And then you have to set up new subdomains and stuff. This is something very important for you to keep in mind in the beginning stage, because when you set up an email domain, it's very important for you to warm it up unless you're at its full potential, and then you can go all out with your email marketing. Now, one more thing we can do here in the email domain setup phase is we can set up multiple subdomains. So we have set up LC dot. We can set up one called send dot. We can set up one called mail dot ourdomain.com. Now, why we do that is if you come over here under domain configuration, you can see you can select multiple domains or different domains or different subdomains in our case for different use cases. Anything related to the calendar, any calendar notification for appointment confirmation, reminders, anything that's related to the calendars, you can configure subdomains. So if we had 2 subdomains, we could select from 2 of those. For payments, anything like any invoice being sent, any documents or contracts being sent from the system, those can use a different email, or those can use a different sending subdomain. One-on-one conversation, bulk email domain, different use cases, campaign domain, workflow domain, default dedicated domain, which we already have one in our case. That's why it's showing up like this. But you could select if you had multiple email subdomains set up. So it's a good practice if you have a lot of emails going out from the system from the very beginning. What you can do is you can set up multiple here, and you could just select different emails or different subdomains in our case for different use cases. That would take the pressure off your email subdomain. In case you had one single subdomain, it would put a lot of pressure if you're sending a lot of emails. That's something you could do in this phase. Now that we have our email sending subdomain set up, there's a few other settings that we need to keep in mind. So if we go back from SMTP service go to reply and forward settings. This is where you can put forwarding addresses. So you'll receive the email replies not only in the conversation view. So basically, if you send an email from GoHighLevel, this sub account, and someone replies to that email, that will come in the conversation area. That will end up in the conversation area in this sub account. But also you can put forwarding addresses. So if you want to receive the reply in your inbox, in your actual email inbox, you can do that. Now you need to keep in mind, let's say you have set up an email sending domain, lc.yourdomain.com, and you have a G Suite or Google Workspace or Outlook set up with that same domain as well. You cannot put that actual email with the domain in it. So basically, if I have lc.yourdomain.com as a subdomain here, and I have a Google Workspace email set up, hasib@yourdomain.com, you can't really put that forwarding address because that's going to create an infinite loop. So in this case, you can use something at gmail.com, something at yahoo.co.uk, something that doesn't match, and the LC subdomain here. You can put reply addresses here as well if you want. And the next setting is the email analytics. So this is basically a dashboard where you can see how many emails sent, delivered, opened, clicked, complaint, bounce. So these are something you need to always keep in mind, because the more complaints you get, the more bounces, the more unsubscribes you get, the more risk you have of the email domain being blacklisted. So you need to keep in mind that you're not getting a lot of bounced or unsubscribed or complained. Risk assessment, you can check it here. Bounce classification, Postmaster tools. This is a tool offered by Google that monitors your email health. So you can just set up a Google Postmaster account. I actually have a video. I will try to link that in this description, or you can find it on my channel as well, how I configured Google Postmaster to monitor my email domain health. Now that we have everything set up here, we can now go back. Finally, we are able to send emails now. Hey everyone, just wanted to take a quick moment to share my Skool community, where if you join, you get to ask me questions about issues you're facing on GoHighLevel Ads Automation AI. You can also be a part of the weekly coaching sessions where I conduct training on many different topics, and we do a Q&A session after that. Besides, you get free access to a lot of my courses that I'm not uploading on YouTube anymore. Some of them you can already see on the screen. Also, there are members only discounts. So if you join, you get 50% off on my courses, my snapshots, my funnels, everything. That's pretty much what I want to share. See you on the other side. We will go to contacts, and as you can see, there's loads of contacts already created. So I'll just click on this contact. But if you want to send email to someone who does not exist in the system, what you can do is you can just quickly create a contact by clicking on add contact, enter their name, email, phone number. That's it. You don't even have to put phone number, but you must have email in order to send emails to them. So I'll just go to this existing contact here. And if I wanted to send this person an email, I'll just click on email here. And the from email is very important, because it can't be hasib@ashhasib.com. It needs to be now hasib@hasib.com, because this is our dedicated domain. That's the whole point of setting up an email sending subdomain, just so we can send emails from anything at the domain.com. So we are sending it to this email address, and this is the from name, from email address, and subject line. So let's say, hey Hasib. So if we hit send, or maybe you can schedule it for later, we would just do send for now, just to see if it ends up in the inbox of this person properly. As you can see, this email ended up in my inbox, and I don't have a profile picture because it's being sent from GoHighLevel. That's why it's showing up like this. But if you click on to me, it says it was sent from hasib@hasibasad.com. It doesn't say hasib@lc.hasibasad.com, even though I set up the email subdomain that way. So that's basically the beauty of alias technology that GoHighLevel uses. Now, the reply to is very important, because it says hasib@lc.hasibasad.com. If I reply to this email, let's say, hello, I am well, what will happen is this reply will be recorded in the conversations area. So let's go to this screen, and let me just refresh the screen to see if we received the reply to this email. Now, as you can see, we received the reply, hello, I am well. And it came through on conversations under unread. So if we go to unread, you can see this is the unread message, and this actually came through properly. So if you click on these three dots and then click on details, you will see the message or the email came from this email to this email. And like we saw earlier, when setting up the dedicated email subdomain, you can set up your forwarding address and reply to addresses there. So this is how you send emails manually from GoHighLevel. Now, what if I wanted to send emails automatically from GoHighLevel? Now, there are different use cases for that, but one of the most common use cases is if we have a form created in GoHighLevel. Say use this form, for example. This is an HVAC form that basically captures details. First name, last name, email, phone number, has a couple of check marks, and then just do a submit. So for forms like this, what we can do is if the form is submitted, maybe this form is embedded on a website or a landing page, or maybe you're independently using it to capture lead information on your social media or something. When the form is submitted, you want to automatically send them, whoever submitted the form, a confirmation email that we have received your inquiry. So in order to do that, we can just quickly go to automation, and here we can just create a workflow. So let's just call it form submit. Now the trigger for the workflow will be form submit. And here under the filter, we will say the form that we are creating this automation for is HVAC form. And here we can just automatically send an email. Whenever this form is submitted, we are saying that we will send an email. Now this is very important because this will be your name or the business name. This can be anything, but from email, it needs to be anything at the email subdomain or the email domain.com. So it needs to match the email domain. It can't be lc.yourdomain.com. It needs to be just anything at the domain.com. Now anything, it can be Hasib, it could be info, it could be support, it could be no reply, right? So it could be anything. For now, we'll just go with info and then say thank you for your inquiry. And in this box over here, you can just type hi. And if you use custom values here, say hi contact names, let's say Mark submitted the form, it will say hi Mark. So that's how it works. Thank you for your inquiry. Regards. This is a very simple automated email going out. Now, other different use cases may include appointment booked. So if someone uses the calendar that you created in GoHighLevel, books an appointment with you, you can create a very simple workflow to send out automated emails. What if someone purchases something? If someone comes to your funnel and submits the two-step order form that you have connected to that, and then connect the product to the two-step order form. If someone purchases a product, you can send an automated email. And not only that, you can just do wait steps like this, do multiple emails. So I'll just wait one day, do another email like this. So just keep sending emails, multiple emails from a workflow. So these are different use cases of sending automated emails to your leads, to your prospects, to your clients, your members, based on different scenarios. Now, what if I wanted to send a bulk email? By bulk email, I mean sending one single email to a bunch of people. If we go to contacts over here, we can see a list of people present in this account. And if you want, you can upload your own list. So if you have started using GoHighLevel and you have a list of contacts or a list of clients you want to upload, you could just go here and then drag and drop your list, or click on this and upload your list. It needs to be a CSV file. Follow the steps and then upload your list. So once you're done uploading, it will show up like this. So let's say I want to send an email to a bunch of people. I have 37 people here, and I want to send an email to all of these people. What I will do is under contacts, I will obviously select all of them and then click on this email option over here. I can just put a action name. So the action name could be anything. It's just so you know what action was performed. I will say bulk email promotion. We won't select any templates because templates is something we're going to look at after this, but this will again be your name, or this could be your business name, but the sender will be anything at emaildomain.com. You know the drill. So it will be, and then this will be the subject line. This will be your email body. And if you wanted to use any custom values, for example, the most commonly used one is first name, and you can type the rest of the email. Thank you for being a part of the family and blah, blah, blah. So, these type of emails we send when we have a new offer, or when we are just getting back to their inquiry, or when we are just reaching out to them and they are a list of our previous customers and we're saying that we have a new offer. For that type of use case, for that type of scenario, we send a bulk email like this to a bunch of people. Now, what you need to be careful about is, remember when we were discussing email domain setup, there was a phase called a warm-up phase. So you need to be very careful about this. If the list is too big, you need to be careful about how many emails you're sending a day. And you need to always check back in your email domain settings and see what the number is currently. You have to be careful about not sending too many emails. Definitely not crossing that list. Just try to reach that number. Do not cross that number. If it's 1,000, do not send more than 1,000. If it's 2,000, do not send more than 2,000. In order to do that, come over here and then just do send and rip mode, because there's not only a daily limit, there's an hourly limit. So you need to be careful about the hourly limit as well. So in the very beginning, just start off with 100. And then basically we're saying that if we have a list of 1,000 people, this email will go to 100 people every 30 minutes, or let's say every 60 minutes. So basically we're sending 100 emails every 60 minutes until the list is over. And here we can just specify the process between hours, mark I confirm, that's it, and then check everything and then send email. So you're just scheduling it to go out for a specific time. like 5 p.m., let's say, for example. And when you're done, you'll just hit send email, it will be sent. So this is how you send bulk email to a group of people. So again, this is suitable if you are sending a temporary promotional offer to a bunch of people. You can just go to contacts, type your email, select the people you're sending this to, configure the batch, and then send it. Now, the last thing we're going to discuss is email templates. So GoHighLevel has an email builder through which we can design not just plain emails like when we did an email here. It was pretty simple. It's just text and nothing else, right? So what we want to do now is we want to take it to the next level and then design beautiful emails using the email builder. So for that, we can just go to marketing, go to emails, and once it's loaded, we will create what's called an email template. So the email template is basically what allows you to create a marketing email. There you go. It's loaded now, and we will just hit templates. As you can see, I have a few that I tried out. So if you click on new here, you can just go to email marketing templates, and this will give you a bunch of pre-built templates in GoHighLevel. As you can see, they look almost like a landing page, but they're really not. They are emails. You can just go with any of these, or you can just select from a category, select from a tag. Loads of categories and tags available here. So if you wanted to go with a body art, something like a tattoo parlor, or if you wanted to go with bookkeeping, you have templates here. Say I want to choose this one, so choose template. It will import that template in your account. So you have the ability to customize them. Customize the colors, the logos, the text, the content, the image, the videos, anything you wanted to customize in this template, you can do it. Once it opens up, as you can see, this is the logo. So click on the logo and then just click on this, go upload from the media library. So you can upload your own logo. Just hit upload and upload it from your computer. Let's say this is my logo. So if you wanted to change an image, you can just go here, just change this one, change it to this. And let's just make it a bit shorter or maybe longer like this. So you can see how we can edit the text. Again, this is the custom value. And if you wanted to grab any other custom values, you can just quickly click on this custom values option, and it will give you a bunch of options to choose from. This is a button. So if you wanted to put a link, if you wanted to change the colors, the text of the button, the size, the stylings, the margins, paddings, everything can be done from the left panel over here. And obviously link is very important. So when they click, where did they go? Here's where you configure that. You can configure it to be on the left, center, right. And when you're done changing all of this, you can just hit save. Now, where do we use it? So you can use it literally everywhere. When you're sending an email manually, you can select it there. When you are sending email automatically through a workflow, you can select it there. Also, when you are sending a bulk email, you can send it there as well. So I'll just save it. And I actually forgot to rename it. So let me just rename this by going back, say accounting, bookkeeping, email. So I remember the name now. If I wanted to send it to someone, let's say I want to send this to this person right here. So what I cannot do is I cannot initiate that email template from here. Instead, what I need to do is I just need to go to contacts and go to the option, select this person, go to emails, just type the action name, and here you will have the option to select the email template. So this is my email, from name, from email. And then if you want to edit it, you can do this from here as well. It will open up the builder for you. So edit anything you want to edit here, and then just add the subject line, send it. Here's how you send it to one person. Similarly, you can send it to a bunch of people as well. Like if you select all of them and you want them all to receive this same email, you can just do send email, give the action name, select the template from here, or type it to find it. Just type your from name, who's it going out from. Email, from email will be anything at, again, your domain.com. Put the subject line, accounting services, and again, send in drip mode. Configure the drip, check mark this, and send it. So this is how you use email templates. And these email templates are really professional looking. On top of that, you can edit it however you want it. Now, how do we include this to be automatically sending out? Just go back to the example of the form submit. So when the form is submitted, we have a workflow right here. That form submit workflow basically sends an email, and that's a plain email. That's just a couple of lines. How do we send a template? So here, instead of typing an email, we can just select the template that we created. And this goes out for any email we have in this workflow or any workflow. In any email, you can either type the email in a plain text format, or you could just select the template from here and you don't have to worry about it. And again, you can edit it when you are configuring the email to be sent out automatically. That's basically the beauty of sending out emails manually, automatically, and also in bulk, and obviously through workflow as a sequence. So this is how email works in GoHighLevel. And if you go through all the steps that we went through, I can guarantee you will have no issues with sending emails from GoHighLevel. So I hope this video was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about GoHighLevel email or anything in general, and I will see you in the next one.